the weather today, so I'm not going to do my communities thing, which is like a high energy whatever thing later. I'm going to just tell a little story to get us warmed up here.
Good.
And I'm going to take a little bit of liberty in quoting like Peter and Dorothy, so people that know exactly what they actually did say because they were around to hear it.
That's bad.
I was saying it that way. Sorry about that. So I think that, Peter had said something about, the need to get out to the land, to the farm. And Dorothy said, well, it's okay to stay in the city. So we were thinking about that, and we thought, if we're going to stay in the city, but we're supposed to be getting to the farm, maybe we could just kind of have a little farm in the city, right? So we got some chickens, got all these hens to lay eggs. And then it turned out that a bunch of them were roosters, and they didn't lay any eggs, so we had to kill them. But we had to eat them, so that was nice. And then we had all these rats that started coming around. I don't know, maybe from all the compost or something. So what we did was we thought, well, to get rid of the rats, and our guests have a lot of downtime during the day, we just get a couple BB guns, set them out back, and they can just wait, So that was an interesting experience. So we're having some fun, we're growing food and all this stuff. We're having some interesting experiences. Well, last Sunday morning, literally just 6 days ago, we really experienced farm life in St. Louis. And it started early on Sunday morning. We're laying in bed, sleeping, dreaming of the farm. And all of a sudden, the silence of the morning is broken by cries for help. Help! 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 Oh my God, what is going on? So I get up, I run downstairs in my bare feet, slip into my shoes, and as I'm stepping outside, the people across the street who are seeing this happen on their own doorstep, there's a boy there called Eric. And Eric's looking out the window, and Mom says, Eric, what's going on? He said, oh, Mom, there's a guy on the stoop, and he's cornered by a really big dog. Oh, no. She walks over and looks out the window. I'm coming out down the steps, and we see this thing at the same time. And she said, Eric, that's not a dog. That's a big goat. Big goat. Middle of the city. So I'm running downstairs. I'm careful to stay behind. Finn?
Then the goat was eating Sarah's vegetables.
Well, I'm standing very safe behind our little fence. And this guy is across the street. Man, this thing chased me for 4 blocks. I gotta go. I gotta get to work. This is a goat. I don't play with animals, man. Oh, yeah, that's a goat. Meanwhile, Beth is right behind me, and she says, I got a car. Where do you need to go? He's like, I gotta get to work, and I was trying to get on the bus, and this thing just chased me, and I'm stuck here, and it's right there. And as soon as the goat would start walking away, I'm like, come on, you can make it over here. He's like, well, it's a goat, And as soon as he started yelling, the goat would come right back and stare at him. So, we make a plan. I carefully make my way across the street, and I'm not too nervous, but I'm like, well, it is a goat. And I don't know what it's doing here. I don't know what it's doing here, so it might be a little off.
Yeah.
So I get on the stoop with him. Beth gets in her car, pulls around, opens the back door. Okay, we wait for our chance. And I walk out with the guy, and he's like calm at first, and then he makes a race for it. And he dives in the back seat. And I shut the door, and he drives away. And I'm on the street with this goat.
How many horns does it have?
We'll get there. We'll get there. So now we got a goat on our hands. And we don't know what to do. By this time, there's a whole bunch of people from the whole block coming outside. Everybody's grabbing their cameras. They're like, there's a goat. It's this goat right on our street. Well, so we're out there, and all of a sudden, as Finn said, the goat starts eating Sarah's greens. Just chewing away. And she's like, well, this isn't okay. So she grabs the hose. She's, I'm going to spray this thing, get it away from the greens. So she tries to spray it, and just a little bit of water shoots out, kind of hits it in the back, and then turns and looks
the hill.
That's right. And me, being the good protective partner that I am, watched all of this and carefully got behind a car. And I just waited and I said, oh, I hope it doesn't get her. The goat was this big. I mean, it was like a horse goat. I mean, you can ride this thing. You can ride this thing.
How many horns did it have?
The thing had one horn. Big, long, curving horn out of the right side of its head. So we're like, all right, we got to do something with this. Finally, a police officer shows up. Someone had called the police, you know. And the guy goes, oh, man. He goes, you're not going to believe this. There's a goat in the middle of Florissant Avenue. It's a big-ass goat. I don't know what's on. He said, if somebody has a yard, you might want to tie it up because it's going to be a few hours before animal rescue can get here. He's like, this isn't even my area. I got to go. Good luck. Good luck with the goat. Oh, my God. So we're like, well, let's tie it up, you know. So we ran inside and we got a couple dog leashes. We strung them together, made a little lasso type of thing, you know. And thank God we had Carl Cabot in our community. I don't know if y'all know this. Carl grew up on a farm. I don't know if anybody knew. Carl was a farm boy. They didn't have running water. They didn't have anything, but they had a farm. So Carl comes down, he says, oh, that's a goat. So we're like, all right, we got to take care of this thing. So Carl, with his one eye, grabs this goat by his one horn. And he just holds on. It was like up here, you know. Meanwhile, we all work together. We get the lasso thing around its neck, but it didn't quite get on all the way. And so we kind of had to grab it again and play with it and get it around and tighten it up. And then, because this thing, you know, at this point, the goat's pretty upset. It's not a happy goat. So what I did was I jumped up in a truck bed, okay, and I'm standing in the truck bed holding on to the goat as it's trying to go get everybody. Finally, after another, I don't know, half an hour or something like that, an animal health and safety vehicle pulls up. You think, thank God, this has been an experience. The guy gets out of the car and he says, that's a goat!
No.
He's like, I was thinking like a goat, you know, but that's a goat! I don't think I can put that thing in my vehicle.
I'm going to have to call someone else.
I'll call someone else. You guys, no, you were going to put this thing in that car like right now. So out comes Carl once again. By this point, we had tied it up to a picnic table in the front of the yard, okay, right on the sidewalk. And had some water out and stuff. We're trying to feed it things, but if you got too close to it, it just tried to hit you with its one horn. Carl goes up, grabs the goat by the horn. The animal safety guy grabs the goat. I still got the leash. We're walking this thing over. We get to the car, and it's like, it's not going to go up. It's not going to, what are we going to do? We're like, no, we're getting this thing out. So it took 4 of us to pile this goat in the vehicle, slam the door. We're like, well, the leash is still on. He's like, yeah, maybe I'll try to get that back to you later. Okay, so he drives off. By this point, our entire block is all outside. We're just kind of looking at each other like, what just happened there? So the point of the story... Dorothy was right. You don't have to go out to the farm. Because if you live in the city long enough, the farm will come to you.